see it in the back, but it shows up here right now. Key classification 2. This is now a filter that has been added. Now, why is it 2? I don't know. They all got together one day and decided 2. The best I can think of, like 1, 2. You know, I stand with 2 feet on the ground. It's a good way of remembering it. Unless, of course, you're a dog. Because sometimes you have 4 and sometimes 3. So it would be confusing. But for us humans, 2 is easy. Okay, I added this. Now I'm moving on to the other side, and first I'm selecting an output appendix, and I will call this _DTM. This will just add it to the name again. This is a very fine, I haven't done any quality check, but I know because I used the data set before. It's a very fine raster, so I can take a step size of 1/2 meter. So the step size is 1/2 meter. That is basically exactly like the tiling in this room. So for every 1/2 meter tile, I will have one value computed from the LiDAR point. And here's what I said before. We're not going to do the actual values. That produces a real height model. We will create a hillside shading. That is a shaded height model. So I'm switching the radio button to hillside shading. And I think that's all. Except I don't have a run button again. So I need to do the trick like I did before. I need to go, you can press run now and then please tell me if I fill out my command line correctly. So it's LAStools. It already put the key classification 2, that's good because that would have been a very long thing to type. Now I know I want to do the hill shading. Hill shade. Is that correct? Okay. I want to do a step size of 1/2 meter. So I say minus step 1/2 meter. Oh, I forgot to do something. And you all have it wrong now because I couldn't do it and you didn't do it either. So you need to fix it. First, I try to repeat what you have. Minus O6. I don't need these because I don't have a space. But now you have something different than me, and you will need to fix that. Minus O. But ASC is a raster format for not for pictures to look at. And we're creating a picture now. We're creating L shape. You need to change it to PNG. You can either go, say, cancel and go to the menu and change it in the menu. There's an output format. You can change it to PNG. I had forgotten this because I didn't see it. Or you just type it, you change it here. But if you type it, be really careful that you don't make a mistake. Because the command line is very picky, you know. If you put like a space somewhere here, between the minus and the 0, it's not going to work anymore. You can put a lot of spaces everywhere. Like I can put a space here, or 2. I can put spaces between the commands, as many as I want. But I cannot put a space in the middle of a command. Because spaces separate the commands. So between the minus and the K, there cannot be a space because minus means a command is starting and the next character should be part of that command. Here, it doesn't really matter. It just needs to be separated by one space or more. Okay, I think my command line is good now. So I press start. hope I didn't mistype. Oh, looks good. And because that was so much fun, I'm doing it again. This time, I created DSM. So instead, I turned this one into a DSM. Notice sometimes you may have to close this to see the run button. I'm not sure about this tool because again, I don't see anything. These rollout menus, they move down your entire menu. I leave everything the same on this side because I can't change the, you should now go to PNG if you can. And for the DSM, I have to filter a different point type. So first I need to delete the old filter, and you can delete the old filter, which is here. You can delete it by double clicking. Click, click, it's gone. And now I'm putting in a new filter here, and this filter is called first only. That means keep only the first returns, because we want to make a DSM. So I say first only, but don't forget to say add. Now first only, I don't need any number or value, I just need to say add. So it says first only here now. In my opinion, this is all you need to change. I have to write it manually again. So I go to view, you can say run, and I'm changing it myself, last to them. And again, minus PHIL shape, minus ODs. Oh no, well it doesn't, the order doesn't matter, by the way. The order sometimes matters, but we get to that later. It's M minus step size of 0.5 meter and minus output PNG. Did I do it right? Remember, the order doesn't matter. The order sometimes matters. The order matters when you do transforms or filtering of points. Because if you first filter a point and then you filter it again, then sometimes you get a different result. But we only have one filter, so I say start. And it looks like it's doing something. And it's done. And before there was a question, can I get the log? Yes, you must look for the black window. In this black window, if you want to save the log, you say mark, and then you just go like this, and you press enter, and now you paste it somewhere. This is right now the way to save the log. Not the most elegant way, I agree, but so let's look for the results. There should be results somewhere. I'm exiting my tool now, and I'm trying to find the results. The results should be in the same folder. Area 2. Oh, there they are, the results. Now apparently I don't have Google Earth installed because I don't have the .kml files, they don't show up. But I have 2 PNG images. This is my DSM that I just created. And this, oh, it's a slideshow now. And yeah. So voila. Anybody else has these 2 images? So you did it. You can now, I mean, we have to repeat it a few more times and do it with larger data sets and, you know, tell you a bit more about what can go wrong and what we shouldn't do. But we basically now filtered LiDAR point cloud into ground and non-ground with last ground. You inspected the results to make sure we really had it, and then you use last to them to raster it into a hill-shaded DTM by filtering out only the ground points. And the next step, you created another DSM by filtering out only the first returns. And this is the result. So this is like the smallest possible LiDAR processing pipeline I can think of. It's like one tile of data, rust ground, and then I create two rasters. I guess one raster would be shorter. But yeah, it's nice to see the two. So that's the forest area. We see in the forest before. And that's under the forest. You can suddenly look under the forest. Beautiful, right? Under the forest. Anybody notice anything? Holes?
Holes.
The forest has holes? The trees can fall into the holes. So yeah, what do we have here? Any idea? What is typically in a forest? Plantation? Fish ponds?
Maybe.
Maybe guerrilla fighters? You thought that was funny, eh?
Campsite.
Campsites? Well, yeah, campsites are sort of like a campsite, but not the kind of where you go with the guitar and you have sausages and maybe vodka. Vodkas. Well, I didn't tell you yet where this is. This is in Poland, in Europe. Huh?
So where you hide. This is just the war.
Yeah, we got it. War. So I did a workshop for forestry students, showing them how to create forestry products with LAStools. And I randomly picked a tile from 1,500 tiles. I picked this tile. And when I was done and I showed the results, I was like, oh, I should have probably tried it first. Because apparently my algorithm has some problems because it has funny bumps, like, looks like, but this is not, this is actually there. It's something that's on the ground. And I'm not online right now. If I was online, I could go to my website, rapidlasso.com, and I could go onto the area where it says search, and I could search for tanks. And if you search for tanks, you come to a blog article where I talk about this, because I was surprised. So now, not only did you do LiDAR processing, but you also did a bit of conflict archaeology. Because you discovered something that was created about 70 years ago, and then a plantation forest was planted over it. And these are old remnants of artillery or tank positions. And if you look closely, next to every tank, there's a small dot. That's likely a machine gun that was protecting it for in case people come too close when the tank cannot see it anymore. And these ones are likely heavy machine guns. It's another defender. So and why are they in the forest? Well, I come from a country, I don't know what your country is. I come from a country that once in a while tried to become, conquer the entire world. And it didn't work out so well in the end. And these remnants are from the moment it started to really not work out anymore. Because these are Russian tanks advancing on Hitler Germany. And they're coming pretty fast. Because at this time, German defenses are pretty much broken down. But I afterwards at the bigger version, and I could see some trenches that are dug likely by German soldiers in the mountains, in the small hill up there, and they probably were advancing, and then they encountered resistance. So what they usually do, they dig in, and then they just shoot for 3 days until it's quiet on the other side, and then they start going again. So yeah, so my grandfather is hiding somewhere over there, and they're shooting this way. Well, I mean, it's 70 years now, I think it's okay. It's a sad, so I went there, you know, and it's a beautiful area now, and if you go to my blog, you see there's a follow-up story on it, on German bunkers. There's full of bunkers in the area. It's so tranquil and peaceful. It's all green, the birds are singing, and you think 70 years ago, this was like an area of such misery, you know, where like at this time it was like children soldiers, you know, like fighting with whatever, like anti-rifles, whatever they left. So anyway, I think it's 5:30 now. We did a full processing pipeline all the way to, you know, me telling you about my grandfather, who by the way did not fight on the Russian front. I'm making stuff up sometimes to make it a bit more funny for everybody. Tomorrow, same place, hopefully a bigger screen for me. So I can do some actual item or thing without. But it was a good way of showing you how good the command line is. You know, no other software could have done that. If you run ArcGIS and you can't press the start button, you know, that's it. You know, you can go home. But yeah. All right. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Pag-iiwalay mo yun.
Has everyone checked in the UH? Not yet. Okay, so everyone see you tomorrow here at 8 o'clock p.m. And we encourage you also to
9
yeah, 9 a.m. Just to have breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you on 8, and then 1 hour eat breakfast. Because you will need to be strong. It's going to be a tough day tomorrow.
Ang bagay eh.
Ako ba? Kasi nila po yung